tonight, well, first of all, you can answer in the chat, you guys in Zoom, how many of you are using a tool called Manus, M-A-N-U-S? And same in this room, how many of you are using Manus? Okay. So in the chat, Sylvia is not. Okay. Bob, no. Okay, so pretty much nobody is using Manus. Wow. I say wow because I've been using it for about a year now, and it's my favorite do everything tool because it does it so amazingly. Okay, so we're gonna get started. So for those of you who don't know me, just a very, very quick introduction to my history and how I got into AI and why I'm doing AI. About 30 years ago, when the internet was just text and blue links and occasionally a picture if you got lucky, we decided to be really stupid and build a town on the internet in 3D virtual reality multi-user, which was impossible with the modems being so slow back then. But we pulled it off and it became really popular. So people would come on the internet and they'd be looking at their text and blue links and they'd suddenly see this image and go, what the hell's this? And they'd click on it and go inside and go, oh, I like this. And they told their friends. And next thing we knew, we had 1.3 million members, which was great, except we had 100 chat rooms. And we couldn't be in 100 chat rooms simultaneously, answering all the questions that new people in a community ask. So I'd heard about this thing called AI, and I was really late to the game of AI because this was like 1998, and AI had been around since the 40s and 50s. But I thought, well, I wonder if we could build, I guess, what we'd call a chat bot, someone who could sit in the 100 chat rooms simultaneously and answer all these questions. And turned out we could. And up at the top here, you can see Mina, who was our chatbot, who became really popular, developed a sense of humor and personality, and answered all the questions and had a lot to do with our success. So that was my first brush with AI. And I thought, wow, this AI stuff is pretty cool. And then because we were doing something really kind of revolutionary, we got a lot of international press, as you can see here. But because I was also a multimedia producer, AI started to come into the multimedia area in the last 10 years. As you know, music software and video stuff, AI started to get in that area. So I got back into AI. And then in the last 3 years, when ChatGPT came out, I started giving seminars on AI up to about 10 a month and keeping up to date with it. And because I had a background in community, and because I was meeting so many people who were saying, well, what is AI? How can I use it? How will it benefit me? And please explain it in simple English. So I decided to build a community helping people learn AI in simple terms. And that's what the AI Connection Club is. But getting on to the subject of tonight, Manus is my all-time favorite AI tool. I use it constantly every day because it does everything and it does it really well. It's not there's various tools out there like Poe and Abacus and various others that are what are called aggregators, where they say, okay, for just $10 or $20 a month, you can have Claude and ChatGPT and Gemini and some video generators and some image generators, all for this low price. But what they don't tell you is that most of the time, they're very stripped down versions. And they're very frustrating because you want certain features but only the paid versions, the real versions, have those features. Manus is not like that. It's using its own technologies, and they're better in almost every instance. And it is using some of the best technologies, like for images, Nano Banana 2 is fantastic. Manus uses that. It also uses Google VO 3.1, which is one of the best video generators. But most of the rest of the stuff it does itself. And you'll find out tonight just the incredible breadth of stuff it does. Okay, I'm just going to click the mute all button and hope that I'm not muted. Can you guys in Zoom still hear me? Marin, I can see you. If you could raise your thumb, if you can hear me, that would be great. Okay, thanks. So what happened with Manus is it came out about a year ago and nobody knew anything about it. But little by little, people started finding it and going, oh my God, this is amazing. And so it started building this big buzz and it became the favorite tool of lots and lots of people. And Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook found out about this. So about a month ago, he gave them $2 billion and acquired them. And he promised that he wasn't going to mess with them and change everything. And so far, he's kept his word. So fortunately, Manus is still the same Manus that we all love. So this is the interface of Manus. Looks like ChatGPT because it is like ChatGPT, but it is so much more. Because you can see here that it can create slides, presentations. It can build websites, beautiful websites. It can develop applications. And it says here, build your full stack web app. And that means a full-blown application with everything you need already built in, no having to jerry-rig all sorts of bits and pieces of things together. And here it says, connect your tools to Manus, and you can connect all your existing tools.
This is what I'm seeing, so they may not be seeing that.
Are you seeing what I'm showing?
Yes.
Yeah, you're not viewing.
Okay,
You need to say how you're viewing things.
okay.
Set speaker view or something like that. Yeah, so it does so many things, and I'll take you through a quick tour, and then we'll actually go in and play with it. But you see, it can schedule tasks, so you can set it up to do tasks for you automatically. The research capability is stunning. It's like if I do some research in ChatGPT, I might get 5 pages of research. With Manus, I'll get 25, 50 pages. It's very in-depth and very powerful research. It will enable you, it'll read, visualize and read spreadsheets for you. It will create videos and audios. It's got a thing called the playbook, which I'll show you a little bit later. But up here, if you see on the left, it says library. Now, library is where you go to keep track of all the stuff you've been doing with it. So if I click on library, then I can see that here I was building a tool for podcasters that takes all the major tools that podcasters use, which are about 10, and they spend about $400 a month. And this tool that Manus built for me does everything those tools do for $20 a month. So it's kind of a no-brainer. And below that is a tool I built for hospitals, which is very popular. And Manus did all this. I'm not a coder. I'm not a developer. I just tell Manus what I want it to build, and it builds it, which is pretty amazing. So here is where you can connect your existing tools that you have, like Gmail and your calendar and everything else. And it's got loads of them. In fact, if I go out of the presentation and I go into the real Manus and we click connect, you'll see that it goes on for pages, all the different things that it will connect to and interface with and talk to and get information from, and like Canva and so many different things, different tools. And just getting back to the presentation. Okay. So we're going to take a look at Manus from the viewpoint of 4 main areas. One is as a researcher and an analyst, which, as I said, it's absolutely incredible for. Also as a creative generator, and then also as an automator of whatever you want to automate, and an integrator with your various tools, and then as a developer and a builder. So the researcher, as I mentioned before, it's like I use nothing else for research because there's nothing as good. It's just phenomenal. Recently, I wanted to build a tool for my community where people could say, okay, what's the best image generator for whatever it was they were trying to do, or what's the best image video generator? So I asked Manus, just go out on the web, get me a thorough research document of the top 25 image generators and video generators. And it went off and it came back with this 12-column spreadsheet with all the information I needed. And then I said, okay, now build that into an app, and it did. So its research is second to none. A lot of people like Perplexity for research. I do too, but Manus for me is better. Um, Actually, here I'm just listing the four um, areas, and then we're going to go into each one in more depth. So yeah, it performs comprehensive web research. Oh, I just saw in the chat, there is a sole person in the chat who uses Manus. Congratulations, Patrick. Okay. But it doesn't just do the research, it analyzes the research and it gives recommendations and it makes it usable, which I love. It creates structured reports, comparison tables, summaries, whatever you want it to create. Now, as a creative generator, it generates professional images from text descriptions. It creates promotional videos without any editing software. It builds complete presentation like PowerPoints in minutes. As a developer, it writes production quality code in multiple languages. It builds responsive websites from simple descriptions. You just say, I want a website for this, and I want it to do this, or I want it to do that. And it goes, and you actually see it writing all the code. And a few minutes later, you've got this beautiful website. And it creates functional applications for business needs. I'm going to show you a few a little bit later, because just on Saturday, I suddenly realized there was something I was doing almost every day that was taking way too much time. So I said to Manus, hey, can you build me an app that will do all this, automate it all for me? And he said, sure. And about half an hour later, I had this perfect app that now saves me hours. So yeah, it will schedule tasks to run automatically at specific times. It creates 24/7 automated workflows, where you say, go off and do this and then do that, and then with that information, do this and then change this. And the nice thing about it, it's what's called an AI agent. It's like with something like ChatGPT, typically you ask it a question, you get an answer. Then you ask it another question, or you ask it for a clarification or whatever. You have this stuff. But with Manus, you say, hey, I want to do X. Can you do that? And it will just go off if you tell it to, and do everything necessary to do whatever that is, no matter what the steps are. And if it runs into a barrier, it'll figure out what the barrier is and it'll work around it and it'll fix it. In other words, it will reason and think for itself. So I can tell it to do something that in another tool, you'd have to give it like 20 different instructions. I just give Manus one instruction, off it goes, and it does whatever it is that will give the result that I want at the end of the thing that I told it to do. And it connects, as I said, to all your existing or most of your existing apps. So when it's doing its research, it's actually got multiple agents simultaneously doing research in different areas to get the depth of research that it does. And it does that simultaneously. And it analyzes the findings and gives you really actionable insights, which I like a lot too. I don't have to kind of read through all the research and then try and figure out, well, what does this mean? Or how could I use that? It tells me. And it's very, very smart. Yeah, it creates everything I need. So the traditional research would be typically multiple browser tabs manual note-taking, hours of synthesis, 3 to 4 hours maybe. But with Manus, single prompt, comprehensive analysis, structured output, 5 minutes. So the result is professional grade competitive analysis, pricing comparisons and feature matrices, verified sources and data citations. That's the other thing I like about it. It gives citations as to where it got the information from, so that you less hallucinations. It's also your on-demand creative studio, because you can see here it can do image generation, it can do video generation, it can do logos. That's very good logos, and it will do slides, presentations. In fact, I had to, because I give a lot of seminars, I had a seminar come up at the last minute last week, and I didn't have any slides for the presentation. So, and it was like a few hours away, and I thought, whoa, okay, Manus, off you go. And Manus built the whole presentation with all the slides and everything, and he did a good job.
Did Manus do this?
Pardon?
Did Manus do this?
This one, actually, it did bits of it. It did bits of it. Because this one, I've been giving this one on Manus for about 6 months. So 6 months ago, it did some of the basic ones. Yeah. Yeah. So it's great for logos, social media content, blog illustrations, marketing materials, training decks, whatever you want to build. Now, there are lots of AI tools out there that will do all these things, but this is the best one I found that does everything. I'm just checking the chat to see if there's any questions. Okay, safe. So it uses, for image generation, it uses Nano Banana, or now Nano Banana 2, which many of you will know is the greatest image generator since sliced bread. And great for social media content, product launches, website and marketing content, book covers, product images, any kind of images you want. And you can choose a style when you're creating an image. You can tell it what kind of style you want. These are a few of the styles. It has many more than this. It will accept reference images, meaning here's the image that I'd like you to model your image on. I'd like it in the same style or the same people or whatever it might be.
You can upload your image to show it?
Yeah, and put it in whatever environment you want. Same with videos. I've been doing videos recently, putting friends in very remarkable places. It will remove unwanted people or objects from the background while preserving the main subject and the natural scene.
You've got a question from Dave Gerber.
Okay. Dave says, is Manus free or pro? When it first came out, it was free, which is great. And I got it when it was free. But in fact, when it was free, I used it for 3 months with never running out of credits, which was great until I started to build heavy duty applications and programs, at which point I realized I need to upgrade to the $20 a month version. So what Manus has, it has a 7-day free trial. So you can try it out and see if you like it or love it and fall in love with it or not. And if you don't, then you don't use it. But if you do love it, as most people do, then it's 20 a month, but it replaces so many other programs, because I don't need ChatGPT anymore. I don't need Claude or Gemini or Nano Banana or Google VO3 or Gamma for presentations or all sorts of different things. I don't need anymore. Not yet, but it's coming. Someone in the audience here asked about music generators. Not yet, but that's coming, because it's intending to be the one tool to rule them all. Now, this is something I just found out about and haven't had a chance to test, so I don't know how great it is, but it's for users who want to create fully structured, longer form videos, because most video generators are anywhere from 5 to 15 seconds these days, and you join the scenes together. But for longer ones, Manus can be paired with a separate tool called SendShort.ai, which takes the scripts created by Manus. Manus writes beautiful video scripts and storyboards, and SendShort supposedly turns them into complete, ready-to-post videos with visuals, voiceovers, and music. But like I say, I haven't tested it, and I actually recently discovered another tool, which is kind of like the Manus for image and video generators. And what time are we going at till tonight?
Whenever you want.
Okay, so round about midnight, I'll be no, no. I'll probably give you a brief glimpse of this other tool, which is just extraordinary.
Once we start the green beer, 2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, that's send short for better or for worse. Oh, Ted's iPad says, "How do we find Manus?" It's manus.im. IM. Idiot machine or whatever IM stands for. I don't know what IM stands for. Seniors, especially the over 60 group, are the biggest group creating new businesses. This seems great for small businesses, but where to begin if all this is new? Well, ask Manus. I mean, literally, you can ask Manus to any question you've got. What? Yeah. You can actually ask Manus anything. You can tell it the idea that you have for a small business and ask it everything you need to start that business. I did that for a client last week. Many of my clients need marketing campaigns, and Manus is fantastic for brilliant step-by-step marketing campaigns for launching any new business or any new company. It'll do presentation decks. So here I say, create a 25-slide presentation on the moons of Saturn, and off it goes and does that. Yeah, it's very, very good at that. Logos, if I said create a modern sci-fi logo for Manus AI, it did that. That's not particularly great, but it does, it can do great logos. And the thing is that, so with a tool like this, there's no need for stock photo subscriptions, freelance designers, or complex design software, because you can do it all in the one tool. Now, Manus Playbook. This is where users of Manus have created step-by-step tools to do all sorts of different things. I'm actually going to go into the playbook, so let me get out of here. I'm now in the real Manus. Oh, they've changed their interface. Where have they put the playbook? Oh, okay. So what the playbook is like a market research tool. It's just created all the steps needed to do market research for you. Or a slides generator transforms any idea into stunning presentations, or transform your ideas into videos, finding YouTube influencers, translating PDFs. These are tools that users have built and Manus has just put into their space. Lead management tools, cover letter generators, deal trackers, salary calculators, lead scoring, CRMs, customer relationship management, client onboarding generator, SWOT analysis generator. I tried this the other day, and what SWOT is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you can take a look at your own company or competitors' companies and find out the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, the threats. So there's all sorts of, like I say, these built-in tools, sketch to photo converter, AI interior designer, story generators, sales and marketing tools. There's just sales funnel builder. I mean, these things are already, they're using Manus in kind of little step-by-step implementations. Yep.
Question. Since they're using Manus and Manus is getting the information from somewhere, who takes credit? Like when someone writes a book, they have credit for that. Who gets the credit for this and who can market it?
Well, AI can't get any kind of copyright. Copyright is only available. No, copyright is only for humans. But when humans interact with AI and collaborate, like authors, for instance, they'll have an idea for a book, they'll have the AI help with the outline, they'll have the AI help with whatever they need to in the book. They collaborate. So they tweak whatever the AI creates. That's a collaboration. So the human can copyright all of that. The AI can't.
Should the human attribute the source?
Yeah, these days it's being encouraged more and more to say, in this I was helped with AI or AI collaborated with me. Yeah, AI is not something to replace us. It's something that if we work with it, it's an amazing collaborator. So I'm going to move to a second here. So they've got a section called use cases where there are hundreds and hundreds of different use cases for these playbooks created by members or users. And you can search by all these different subjects. So pretty much anything you can think of that you wanted to build, it's already built and it's already available. Except, I don't know, I like building things myself with Manus because they're very customized to what I want. So let's go back into the presentation. Okay, yeah, we just looked at this. Now, recently, some tools like Claude, which is a great tool, and Manus uses Claude. Some of those tools, they brought out, like Perplexity brought out a tool, I can't remember the name of it offhand, but it basically is a browser replacement, and it makes the browser. Sylvia, hang on a second. Sylvia says all of a sudden your voice is echoing. Is that still happening, Sylvia? Is your speaker off?
Yeah, I haven't changed it.
Okay, Sylvia says no. Oh, just for Sylvia. Okay, Bob.
Very special.
Sylvia is a special one. Okay, so yeah, Perplexity brought out their own browser and ChatGPT started playing with their own browser. Manus said, well, you already have a browser. Why not take your existing browser and make it AI? So it brought out Manus Browser Operator. And I think I have a video here. Let me go back. Actually, I think it's coming up. Yeah, it's an extension for your existing browser, and it transforms any browser into an AI browser, allowing the Manus to work as an active participant in digital tasks on the web. It integrates with the user's existing browser setup, meaning the AI can access sites and platforms where the user is already logged in, eliminating the need for repeated logins or captcha headaches. It's a fully autonomous AI agent capable of breaking down high-level goals into smaller, manageable tasks and executing them independently in a cloud-based environment, i.e. the web. It provides a transparent view of the actions it's taking and the decisions it's taking, so you can say, hey, no, Manus, I don't want you doing that, allowing users to monitor progress and intervene if necessary. And it uses a multi-agent architecture. We're specialized sub-agents, some for planning, some for knowledge retrieval, some for code generation. They work in parallel to handle complex workflows. Users retain control with options to manage which websites Manus can access or disable the cloud browser feature at any time. Now, I think it's here that I have an actual video of this.
Your browser already works. You don't need to download a new browser just to experience AI capabilities. Meet Manus Browser Operator. This is a browser extension that turns any browser into an AI browser. It allows Manus Agent to work directly within your browser environment. Grant Manus access to your browser when needed, and sites that you're already logged into, Manus has access. Keeps your AI tools in the zone, so you stay focused on what matters. No more login delays, no more CAPTCHA headaches. You keep control. Manus adds the intelligence, experience, and AI browser without changing a thing. Manus extends your reach. Your browser extends Manus's reach. Your logins, your setup, your habits. Link to Manus and start browsing smarter.
So that's just an extension for your existing browser, so you can make your browser smarter.
Your browser already works.
Okay, I'm trying to get to the next page. Let's see. There we go. So the third area, and this is one where I've gotten really active in the last 6 months in particular, because this is actually an amazing area. Because most people still think that if you want to build an application, you have to hire developers, and it can take 3 to 5 developers, 3 to 6 months to build the application you want, and it can cost tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, not anymore. And I'll explain that in a minute. So it writes production quality code in multiple programming languages, builds responsive websites from simple descriptions. It creates functional applications for specific business needs. No coding experience required at all. Just describe what you need and converse back and forth with Manus to build it. For instance, one of the first things I built was I like creating flowcharts, and every online flowchart generator that I looked at was either more than I wanted to spend, or it didn't do everything I needed it to do. So I said, hey, Manus, build me a flowchart generator where I can actually see pictures of the different things that I need, and I can move things around. And because I've got a multimedia studio, actually 4 of them, but the connections between all the different equipment, sometimes if I'm in the middle of a live streaming session and maybe something of the 12 interdependent systems suddenly starts doing something weird, I've got to think, well, this is connected to that, or what is connected to this? So the flowchart helps me because I can see instantly. So I tried building this with another tool that's kind of similar, but only does the one thing, which is building applications. And I had to do a lot of back and forth with it before it finally did what I want. With Manus, I just gave it one instruction and it went off and built it. So I thought, well, that's interesting. That was my first introduction to the difference of Manus. I mentioned earlier that podcasters have to spend anywhere from $150 to $400 a month on all these different tools. And so I had Manus. I said, actually, what I did is I said to Manus, hey, I'm looking at building a tool that could combine all the key features that a podcaster could need and maybe make it into one tool. And that's all I said. And Manus went off and did all the research into what are the tools that podcasters can't live without. And it gave me this full information on everything was needed. And then it said to me, do you want me to build a tool that will give you all those features? And I said, hell yeah. And off it went. And it created this that gives them all the information. If I click here to episode. Actually, if I click record new episode down here, recording studio opens where I can control the volume of the speakers and the guests, and whether the echo is turned off, all the different things that you normally get in a studio. I've got a section here that covers all the episodes, a section here that creates all the promotion, all the social media posts about that podcast for the person. It creates audiograms. There's a guest section that controls getting new guests and even writes the emails to get the new guests. It's got analytics. It's got everything that people are spending hundreds of dollars to have multiple tools. And Manus just thought up the whole thing just from me asking, would it be possible? So when you're working with this particular concept, it's called vibe coding. So if you ever hear the term vibe coding, it means talking to an AI in English to build what you want to build. And so basically what you do, you just kind of look in your life or your business as what is taking too much of my time? And then you figure out, well, could I automate some of that stuff, or could I have an AI do some of that stuff for me? And in 9 times out of 10, in my case so far, 10 times out of 10, Manus will say, yeah, and here's how we'll do it. And it'll go off and build the tool I need. I'll show you a couple of those in a minute. But one thing I found really helpful is to decide what it is I want to build and then paste that into ChatGPT. Now, this is not vital. It's just a quick shortcut, because then I'll say, rewrite this as a prompt for Manus. And it will write a real detailed, complex prompt for Manus. And that can work quite kind of nicely. I have to admit, I haven't done that in a while because my relationship with Manus is such that it knows me really well now. And it knows if I say, 3 words, it knows what I want. Now, for one complex app for hospitals, the client was told that it would take 5 developers. Actually, it says here 2 to 3 months, but it was 3 to 6 months, and cost anywhere from 150,000 to 750,000. With Manus, it took me nowhere near that long, and at a 10th or a 20th of the cost. So the client was thrilled when they got my quote, because it was like so much less than developers were charging for the same product, and so much faster because the AI was doing the work. Oh, yeah. This is a note. Now, Manus, it gives you, when you sign up, it gives you, in the free trial, you get 1,000 credits. And all the things you're doing in Manus, they're taking credits off your credit account. But it's very generous because it gives you 1,000. And I'm going to give you a link a little bit later that will give you an extra 500 for free. But they also give you 300 a day. So you can get a lot done with that until you start to build heavy duty apps like I'm doing. Then you start to get into thousands of credits. So what I did when I saw how many credits was being used on the first app I built, the one for the hospitals, I got together with Manus and ChatGPT and I said, okay, so how are you using these credits? How is this being used? What are the parameters? And as a result, it was able to build me a prompt that saves 70 to 90% of the credits. So now something that used to take 2,000 credits takes 200 credits. So that's kind of useful. But vibe coding, as it says on the right here, it cuts subscription costs. You get exactly the features you want, because a lot of these apps, you're paying for all sorts of features that are not necessarily the features you want. It'll have the features you want, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff. You're paying for that, and you're paying for all the marketing and everything else, when you can just build it for yourself and get exactly what you want and build only what you need. So as I kind of said before, you pick one pain point in your life or your business, and you look at, well, let's see how, in fact, you can even ask Manus, you can say, here's what I'm doing. Here's the problems I'm running into. What would you suggest for a tool that would make this so much easier and faster for me? And Manus will do that really well. So you don't even have to think of it for yourself. It'll do it for you.
Does it do it if you've got a printed manual and it's for research? If you've got a printed manual, which I have,
Mhm.
can you tell Manus to go in there and fix it and put it on the web?
Yes. Yeah, there's a plus.
How do you how do you access it? How does that how does Manus access?
There's a plus sign at the bottom of the window where you can just upload anything that you want to upload into Manus. So this one was the first one I had it build me, which is a tool for people to help them navigate the kind of strangenesses that can happen in hospitals. And this one's become very popular. And then this one is one that I'm just about to launch. And Manus did an incredible job with this. You probably don't, some of you might know of a tool called Go High Level. Blank faces. It's basically a tool that kind of automates or takes over all your marketing for you. And it's very, very powerful, and a lot of people are using it. But it's there's one area where it's missing something, and that is when a new contact or a new reach, a lead comes in. The only information you get is kind of name, email, and maybe a phone number, and that's about it. So a salesman has to do a whole bunch of research beforehand before contacting that person. So this tool automates all that. As soon as a lead comes in, 30 additional sales intelligence fields or items appear when he gets this big sheet that shows him everything he needs to know about that lead. So he can go, it'll even write the copy for the phone call and for the email or SMS or whatever it is that however he wants to, or the script for the meeting, whatever it might be. So everything, the salesman saves multiple hours every week. So we're very happy about what Manus built here. And then just on Saturday, I realized that every day, and this may not be something you do every day, but every day I am grabbing videos that I don't have time to watch, or I've downloaded videos, or I've downloaded audios and things. I've got all this stuff. And if I want to, well, let me ask you a question. How many of you are familiar with Notebook LM? Good. Okay. Well, I'm going to assume that some people in the Zoom world are using it because it's so popular. But it's a tool, it's a Google tool, it's a free tool where you can just dump everything into it and then chat with it, meaning you say to it, tell me what so-and-so said about this subject, or what are the 10 main points of this. You can just really get to the heart of any information very, very quickly. So I've been using it a long time, but I was having to get transcripts of these videos or the audios and then go to Notebook LM and then get it into Notebook LM. And it was like a lot of different moving parts and steps. So I said to Manus, can you just build me a tool that will automate the whole thing? And so it built me the Notebook LM Media Importer. And so all I do is I just drag the video into it and then click the button at the bottom that says transcribe, and it automatically transcribes it at no cost. I don't have to use any of the online paid transcription services. It'll transcribe the video or the audio, and it'll dump it straight into whatever notebook I want in Notebook LM, or it'll create a new one. Saves me a lot of time every day. But that's just one. I mean, any number of things that you can think of, you can build. It's like if you want to build something for the club, you now can.
Yeah. My wife is retired now, but she was a research librarian.
Mm.
And when I told her about it, she was less than impressed. I would never use a damn AI to do what I can do, you know? And she's really good at what she does. So I'm not arguing. I know better than to take that argument up.
I understand. I understand. Yeah, it takes some people a while.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and so you can say to it, you know, build a professional landing page or a website for a productivity app with a hero section, features, and a contact form, and it'll build the whole site for you. and give you various choices of design and the like. So traditionally, you'd have to hire developers, multiple revisions, lengthy timelines, sometimes months of work for a really big website, and they can cost thousands or tens of thousands. But with Manus, you co-build it with AI using natural language, much faster delivery, and much lower costs. So it's also a 24/7 digital workforce because you can schedule tasks to run automatically at specific times. For instance, I had it build me, I do a newsletter, and I was spending time doing all the research on all the new AI tools and the AI news and everything, and then having to put that all together into a newsletter. And I said to Manus, hey, can you do all the research for me and then create the newsletter in my voice and then send it to me or send it out? And Manus said, sure. So now that's all automated. And also when I do seminars, a lot of the places I give seminars for, they like to have replays. And sometimes I want to edit those replays because if I fell off my chair in the middle, I don't particularly want that in the. Anyway, more seriously, well, what Manus will do is it'll give me editing, it'll watch my video in split second, give me suggested editing notes, and then it will create the YouTube suggested titles, description with chapter markers, hashtags, thumbnail, everything. Things that I used to have to do manually, and it would take me all morning before is now done for me by Manus. So it can monitor websites, generate reports, send summaries, all without manual intervention. You can connect it, as I said before, to your existing ecosystem of apps. So you can transform one-time tasks into recurring automated workflows. Set it once, benefit forever. Runs automatically, no manual triggering required, perfect for marketing monitoring, competitive intelligence, content creation, regular reporting. And the other thing, as I mentioned, it can connect to all your existing or a lot of your existing apps like Google Drive, Slack, Canva, Gmail, Calendar, and organize files across your storage systems, send notifications to your teams, sync data across your workflow. It kind of becomes a unified command center. And as of something that came out literally today, which I just had time to put into the presentation, it now does this on steroids. So it's one platform with unlimited possibilities. Today we looked at the researcher and the analyst, the creative aspect, the generator, the developer and the builder, the automator and the integrator. So instead of paying for separate research tools, design software, development services, and automation platforms, you get everything in the one subscription. And the $20 a month one will keep you busy for a long, long time. In fact, you won't run out of credits unless you start building heavy duty apps. And if you are, ask me and I'll send you the prompt that will compress that down by 80, 90%. Now, just today, they added a thing called Claude Computer. You may have heard recently of tools like Claude Cowork. Claude Cowork and ChatGPT also had a thing whereby they said, okay, we can now interface and do tasks for you that relate to your computer, and we can do them online in the cloud. And again, Manus said, well, that's all very well, but if it's on your computer, why don't we just build a big app that's a desktop app that's Manus on your desktop, and you can tell it to do whatever you want, and it'll do it. So Manus Computer came out today. All this stuff, they keep adding, and it's all within the same price. But I've got a video here on it, I think. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to pause it for a second, I hope. Yeah, I'm pausing it because it goes past in the video. It went past so fast I couldn't read this. So it says, I am a flower shop manager. Organize my flower shop folder by sorting files into subfolders: bouquets, pots, flower decorations, bridal flowers, physical flower shop interior, customer feedback, and customers with flowers. So this can be when you've got a mess of files and folders all over the place, you can tell Manus to organize it for you. So here's, whoop, let me go back. So there it's organizing all the different files into the different folders for you. There it's renaming all the files. It'll run apps. It'll create an app for you for something you might want to do. Translate meetings. It's pretty much unlimited. If you can imagine it, it can pretty much build it.
You go there and if you're having problems with your windows, will you go there and
Say that again?
if you're having problems with windows, will you go in there and fix your problems?
Oh, if you're having problems with Windows,
Yeah.
I haven't tried that. It came out today, but
Okay.
but knowing Manus, probably. So let me go here. Yeah, this slide is a little bit old. This was when it was 19 and 39. It's now 20 and 40. But like I say, with the $20 plan, you can do so much. But I'm going to, for Tampa-Bay Technology attendees and you guys in Zoom, I've got a invitation link here, which if you decide to do the free trial, it's no obligation free trial, but you can try it out and see if you like it. You'll get 1,000 credits, but with this link, you'll get 1,500 total credits. So you can go to town.
Okay, we copy those down.
I'm going to put this link in the chat. For the guys in Zoom world.
Something.
There's a link that will get you the 500 extra credits.
I'll get myself from my phone a little bit.
What?
We'll be able to show that again. I gotta buy my camera, my phone in this car. I'll go get it.
I'm not going to cover this. Most of you guys know what the AI Connection Club is. It's just a place where you can go and find out anything you want to know about AI. I'm in there a lot. You can ask me questions and I will always answer. And that's the AI Connection Club. And if you'd like a copy of the slides, trockcliffe@gmail.com is my email address, trock@gmail.com. Thank you, Bob. Ted's iPad says, what about security? What about Ted's iPad security? Now, Manus is extremely security conscious. It has to be. And since I've been building apps for hospitals that have to be HIPAA compliant, which is incredibly tight security, this is a very key area. So if you want to email me, you can get the slides, trockcliffe@gmail.com. You can also request a free AI coaching session. No obligation, just fun finding out how AI can help you personally.
Can we get back to the
Oh,
link?
okay. An attendee wants me to go back to the link with there. Okay. So anybody in Zoom have any questions? That many, huh? Okay, Howard has a question here.
If you develop a large app like your hospital, in order for it to run, does it have to use any licensed libraries from Manus?
Well, here's the great thing with there's a database, the world's largest database of medical information. I think it's called MedLib, and Manus just hooked into that database, which is free. So now the tool I built has all that information, but the tool itself cannot diagnose. It knows very, very thoroughly. It cannot diagnose or give clinical advice, but it can point people in the direction of the right people.
But when you build an app, do you have to have a current license with Manus for that app to continue working in the future?
That's a good question. But, well, yes and no. If you let Manus host it, which you can do on your own domain, then yes, if you stop paying your monthly subscription, it'll no longer be hosted. But if instead you just copy the code and host it on your own servers, no, you've got it from there.
Gives you an exe file?
What?
Does it give you an exe file?
No, it gives you all the files and the dependent files that are needed to build whatever it is.
Install?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is an exe file?
Yeah, the one that it built that I showed before that handles all my transcriptions, that's a Windows exe file.
I have a friend in the medical field, and he said his company is having a meeting this week to talk about AI, that they're inviting their programmers to. And he said, he told his boss, he said, I won't be going. And his boss said, why is that? And he goes, because you guys want them to use AI to develop a whole bunch of utility for the medical process that you'll sell. And he says, and I'm going to tell you, all of that stuff is covered by HIPAA law. And he said, and that a lot of that information, AI went out and grabbed off of databases that should never have been used.
Right, that's why my app isn't allowed to go on the web.
Yeah. And he said, and you're going to end up in the midst of some lawsuits, and I'm not going to be a part of that because that information is verboten for you to use. And
Yeah.
so,
You have to be smart.
yeah, exactly. So you've got to be aware of what you're going and what you're doing. And of course, that's one of the big issues of AI in general. Forget just the medical field, but AI has gone out and studied books, plays, gathered all that information, and it's all copyrighted somewhere, and you can't just grab it and use it. There's problems with that.
Yeah, with our AI, we're using a specific book written by a registered nurse who is the owner of the program, and the AI can only access that book and the medical database, which is freely available. It cannot go on the web and do anything that would violate HIPAA.
The database for WebMD?
No, it's another one. It's a much bigger library than WebMD.
Do you know what the name of it is?
I can look it up. Give me a second.
George Harrison changed the music industry because he created the song. Tony probably knows the song. It's what is God? What? Oh shoot, I can't think of the name of it. It was a big hit, and it turned out that he got sued by people.
Oh, My Sweet Lord.
My Sweet Lord, that's right. And he got sued by like a girl band that had made his song 2 decades before George Harrison did it. And they took him to court. And he ended up, the court said, they didn't see him as being responsible for simply trying to grab that information.
That one.
It was unconscious, He knew the song. He started writing his song. He made some changes to it, and it was a big hit. And so they said, well, we realized that George didn't go out and do that on his own. However,
Right.
However, it meant that you had to be careful when you wrote a song that you weren't copying something that somebody else did inadvertently. And it changed the recording industry because people are now way more careful about how they use that stuff. That's all.
So you asked the AI to look into copyright possibilities?
Oh, yeah, I've done that a number of times.
Yeah.
How do you phrase that question to the AI? Since you've got experience doing
Well,
it.
you figure out what it is you want to find out and you ask it. It understands English,
Yeah, just-
right? And it understands numerous languages, but it's, I just love it.
Give me which stolen information, they'll never figure out where I got it from. That's the question.
Tony, is there a cost to joining your AI connection club?
What do you say?
Is there a cost to joining your AI?
No, it's free. If you want a card,
Yes, sir.
there's the address.
Do you have more cards?
Sure,
$9
pass them around.
Now I got 'em.
Okay, well, thank you very much, the guys in Zoom land, for all the nice things you're saying in the chat. Thank you for attending and thank you for your questions. I'm going to wrap up the meeting now. So have a great evening and good night.
You've got a question over here, John.
I,
Hold on,
okay.
just wrapping up a meeting.